you doing, guys? Thank you so very much for being with us. This time it's going to be Ryan and I. Welcome to more Road Break. This week, very important week in the wrestling world. We actually feel so excited for being wrestling fans.
Amen.
It's been a while that we actually can say that. And if you wonder about Eck, he's currently taking care of some personal situations. And that's why it's going to be Ryan and I. Ryan, how you doing?
I'm doing well, especially because it's been such a good week for wrestling.
Exactly right. We're going to start dissecting what took place on Wednesday, October the 2nd, with the debut of AEW Dyamite. The new show, they finally came out with a weekly show, and we're going to actually talk about the beginning of the Wednesday Night Wars, toe-to-toe with NXT. So, Ryan, what are your thoughts about who won the first round?
I'm going to go with AEW. The ratings came in, and they won by over 500,000 people, I believe. We did post that. That got quite a few reactions. So I'm going to go with AEW. I'm not shocked at all that AEW won. I mean, it's their debut night. They're going to win, obviously in the ratings for their debut night. But obviously this is not a sprint, it's a marathon. So it's going to continue to go down this road, and we'll see who continues to put on better shows. Overall, throughout the night, both shows put on a very good show. Everybody, there's shills for AEW, there's shills for NXT, and I saw comments from both sides on our page. Some people were all NXT and that show was amazing. Some people were all about AEW and that was amazing. Both products put on great shows. For me, I was more for AEW simply because it felt fresh, felt new, and the crowd was extremely into it. And that really brought me into it. Even during some matches that weren't, every single match to me was excellent, except I want to say the women's match.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get into that as we go down through the list
of
matches. That is the only weak spot that I see right now in their whole list of
the whole roster. You will say that that's the weakest spot, or the things that need the one thing that they need to work on, or really make it better.
I would say the women's division right now is weak. And the mistake that they made, in my opinion, is not putting a bigger name in the women's championship match.
Mm-hmm.
The match itself was good. I saw people trashing the match. I'm not going to throw a certain podcast guy out that we listen to, but he absolutely trashed the match and said it was very sloppy. I thought the match was decent. I don't know what you expect a 200-pound woman and a 98-pound woman going
and what things they can do. But we'll get to that. And when it comes to that, I want to say on Ryan's behalf and mine, thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the people that are joining, that are believing in us. Thank you to the newest members of the Road Break family. We're here for you guys. We're going to keep delivering more and more content for you. We're going to keep giving you more insight about wrestling, about all the stuff that we know, how we feel about certain things, depending on the topic, depending on the shows. We're going to be covering everything that's going to happen on Raw. SmackDown is going to be big tonight, guys, and we're going to be, the whole panel is going to be together. Yeah, we're going to be there, so we want to pump that up. So we're going to be there watching the show, and after that, we're going to be on Facebook Live with the reactions of what took place on SmackDown Live. Because there's going to be bigger names. There's going to be The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin might be there, The Undertaker. It's going to be a great night for wrestling. I'm not saying it's going to be as great in quality, but I'm saying it's going to be at least for big names. If you like a whole show, whole spectacle, that's the night that you want to be in. So today, Friday nights debuts on Fox, so we're going to be covering all of that. And now when it comes to the wrestling itself, like Ryan said, I will have to go with him because AEW put a different product. And it was to me is as high caliber as like WWE when it comes to like scenery, when it comes to the stage, when it comes to the camera angles, and the fact that like for example AEW delivered for 14,000 people and NXT is doing for 500, there's a whole difference. I'm not saying NXT was bad.
No.
NXT is also a great show, and especially Adam Cole against Matt Riddle, great match. And of course they're forced to put that kind of a show if you want to go to toe to toe. So let's start dissecting this. Let's get into the stuff.
Yeah.
We're not gonna mention any podcast. We're not gonna feature any, I'm gonna have to talk about that. No, we're going right into the stuff, okay? Because we don't have sponsors, and I don't think we ever have sponsors. So let's get to it.
We do this for the love, not for the money.
That's right. That's right. See here, Ryan, we do this for the love that we have for professional wrestling. We're not going to make money out of this.
And for the fans that we have on the podcast.
For all of you guys that actually believe in this thing that we do, we're going to keep improving it. And like I said, bigger things are going to come for you guys. Keep believing in this. Do not give up on us because we won't give up on you. So let's get to it, Ryan. So AEW debuts Cody Rhodes versus Sammy Guevara. What a great way to start that. What a great way to start that show.
Fantastic match. Sammy Guevara is such a good wrestler. Again, for people who don't know AEW, may not know who Sammy Guevara is, but how athletic is this guy? Fantastic. He can do so many things, and he was legit getting a lot of heel heat. Not go away heat like Seth Rollins is getting, like Roman Reigns is getting, where they just want them to go away. The guy gets legit heat. The match was fantastic. I love the spot where Cody was going for a suicide dive and he pulled Brandy in front of him.
And she had to she got the bump, and of course Cody's checking on her. And everybody, the nice thing about this is to hear finally after so long, after so many years, asshole. So it was really, really great just to see that, like you said, legit heel heat.
Yes. Yeah, I enjoy that, and I enjoy that, like you said, it's TV-14, so they'll actually let in the word asshole. And later in the night, once we get to the match with MJF, I'll mention what Tony Schiavone said about him. Like, they're letting in foul language, which is something I sorely miss.
And exactly, it's a sport. It's a comeback. It's two people going at it. You need full language. You need a little bit of an edge when it comes to these things. And Ryan, I wanted to ask you, because you're a guy that has a lot of knowledge on these things. What do you think about Tony Schiavone being back? For me, if you give me just, let me say this, I think that it really felt like he was coming home. It just felt, he's a guy that ended on WCW, and it's a way for him to say, you know what, I'm back home. The guy really suited perfectly.
This is my thing, okay? I think that's why they brought him in, because Schiavone was WCW through and through, okay? He was on TNT for years with WCW. Now, for WCW, he was very much like a play-by-play guy. He was more of the Jim Ross. He talked a lot. But he didn't have the knowledge that Jim Ross had. He didn't have the move sets. That was more Mike Tenay's stuff.
Yes.
So I was never like a Schiavone fan. I respect Schiavone. He was a good guy. I thought he did a decent job. Where tonight, or I shouldn't say tonight, but what I saw in AEW, what he did for the first show, he did a very good job. He let everybody there, I think, is doing a decent job now, where they know their jobs. They know what they're doing. As long as you have a guy who knows how to call the match, knows the wrestling holds, the wrestling maneuvers, stuff like that, and knows their job, what they're doing. I still am not a fan of the three-man commentary team. But obviously AEW, I think, is trying to copy WWE. WWE is trying to copy AEW, and you're going to keep seeing that.
Yeah, they're gonna go back and forth when it comes to that. Yes, and like you said, I have a lot of respect for Tony Giovanni. I've never been a fan of him, but I feel that like it was the right guy to do the job because for example, they talk about through the match about using Thunder Liger, Ryan Pillman, and they acknowledge themselves as WCW. What they acknowledge that fact. They were like the first time that we had a Nitro episode. It was Yushin Thunder Liger against Ryan Pillman.
Yep. And I thought that was really good, and that what, and they did it specifically because they wanted to say this is war.
Yes, exactly.
That's why they did it.
I mean. So you understand already my point of view, Ryan. You already see why they said those things.
They fired the gun.
Yeah, they were right away because it's like what they said. Oh, the last time on 2001. So that they already were acknowledging all the history. And I don't know if you noticed this. And we're gonna go through this just in a little bit. But the match itself, Cody and Sammy Guevara, it was really, really great. 13 minutes. Very good moveset. I love the cutters. Both of them did a springboard cutter.
Yep.
Great. The when you said the spot when he pulled Brandy, Sammy Guevara did a few moonsaults, and then Cody avoided two of them, and then in the third one he hit it. That was really nice too. For the shooting stars, yes, he did that. At the end, I love also the spot when Brandy hit him with her shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he hit the disaster kick.
Yeah. Oh, he sold the hell out of that.
And he flipped. He did a complete flip. So that was amazing. And of course, then Cody wins with an inside cradle.
Yeah.
And then the good thing about this match is also that they have the implications of it was great. For example, Cody was putting his championship match on the line. If he would have lost, then Sammy Guevara would have been challenging Jericho for the match at Full Gear.
But see, that's where wins and losses matter.
Yes.
And I like that. And to me, Guevara didn't look weak. See, this is where you and Eck get pissed off with the roll-ups and stuff. Guevara didn't look weak in the end because he lost with a roll-up. If he would have lost clean, to me, losing with a roll-up is not losing clean. You lose kind of bullshit with a roll-up. So to me, that's an easy way out because you're not losing in a bullshit way.
But see, when it comes to this, I wasn't too upset about it, mainly because the story, kind of how the story went, it fit the ending.
Yeah.
In so many instances, in so many matches that I've seen, the way that they ended with an insert cradle or a small package or something like that, like a roll up, it's just so dumb because you kicked out a finisher or you don't even use the finisher. But in this situation, it felt well. I don't know why it just felt because, for example, the disaster kick, you could consider that as a signature move and things like that. To me, the whole story compensate for the ending, to me. So I don't know if you noticed this thing, but when Tony Giovanni was going to try to interview Cody, he started crying and he hugged him.
I saw that. But Giovanni and Dusty were friends.
That's what I'm saying. So that's a moment right there. Is be like, dude, we support you 100%. You're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And once again, we're not trying to say that we're picking sides here. We just love wrestling.
Yeah.
And being competitive with each other is fine. There's many times that you and I have gone at it because over a match. So if you're telling me at the end it all ends because it's just competition, we just want to win.
For me,
that's all.
We know. And you've said this, and I've said this many times, the best time to be a wrestling fan was during the Monday Night Wars.
Yes.
But that's because there was competition. Now is a great time to be a wrestling fan because there's competition again.
Yes. So. When it comes to AEW, they started out in the right foot, I want to say. For example, with a match like this, crowd was hot. Everybody was thanking Cody for, a new opportunity, a new alternative.
Yep.
Something new that they can watch every single week and forget about the WWE even exists.
Yeah.
And so it was something that Impact was never able to do. Lucha Underground was never able to do. Ring of Honor has never been able to do. Not even come close to what AEW has done. So going now, to NXT, Matt Riddle against Adam Cole for the title.
All right, I'm gonna say this right now, and this is not a shot at WWE or NXT. I like NXT. I've always liked NXT. I've always thought NXT has been the superior product.
We were even there. So for the people that we were even at Takeover.
We were at Takeover when we went to WrestleMania because we were dumb enough to buy the entire package and waste all our money and spend all of our money towards that. We had a fantastic time though, so I would do it again.
Yes.
In a heartbeat, because I went with this guy, my best friend. I would do it again. My thing with NXT right now is you're putting all of your effort into trying to beat AEW on their debut night, okay, when, okay, this match, okay, Matt Riddle, first of all, to me, should not have been challenging for the NXT Championship. Not yet, okay? That's a caliber match that could have been down the line, okay? That's one of my first, I was irked by that. Second of all, okay, another match that should not have happened to me yet is Candice LeRae versus
and Shayna Baszler.
That's a match that should be at a takeover.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's a match where LeRae should be the one winning the match, in my opinion. Okay, but again, this is where it's like a Goldberg moment from WCW, where Goldberg wins the title on Nitro from Hogan instead of putting it on a pay-per-view where you could get all this money.
Yes, it's like it seems to me that they're already trying to do those things. Remember that you used to tell me all the time, Ryan, that like, oh, they put all these matches on free TV just so they could win against WWE. And now WWE is doing the same thing that WCW used to do, putting all the big guns on free TV instead of living there for pay-per-view.
That's what's bothering me. To me, there was a ton of matches that were beautiful. Okay, they were great matches. Like the Baszler match, it showed me, okay, the women's wrestling is still amazing in WWE when you let them go. When you let them go all out, fantastic. Okay, women's wrestling far superior in WWE, no doubt. But the problem is that match should not have been free on television. That should be on an NXT pay-per-view, a takeover. It should not be free on television. I'm sorry.
That is true. That is true, Ryan. So moving gears now, once again, AEW. Now you can talk about the match with MJF and a friend of the Young Bucks. This guy, he's been out of wrestling for 5 years, came back. Justin, I think, was his name.
He came back in the Battle Royal. I remember he was in one of the Battle Royals. I remember seeing his story. I want to say it was during Double or Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing his story. But the big thing, at least, that they let him do, the best part of this whole show for AEW was that it was a wrestling show. Yeah. They kept the speaking and the promos down to a bare minimum.
Yes.
One of the promos that was cut was MJF during this match. It was very brief, and it was freaking great. Okay, MJF is one of the best heels that they have, and I would not be surprised if they actually make him a champion at some point soon, because he's fantastic.
We've said this about MJF. We've said this in the show before. He can possibly be the best heel in wrestling down the line in a few months. Because the way the guy carries himself, he portrays himself, the way that he lives his character is just a complete douchebag, a complete heel. So that to me is right there. That is your gimmick. You're going to be heel all the way, and he's, making his best work right there. That's his money right there.
That's my thing. He's fantastic on the mic. I think he needs to develop his in-ring skills a little bit more. Other than that, then you can have him roll with the title, because he came out and I was laughing my ass off because he said, I think you lost your way to your seat behind the guardrail. And I was dying because is true. If you look at the guy, he doesn't look like a fucking wrestler.
Yeah, he looked a little like he's a little skinny. He looked to me like a Justin Incredible. Remember?
He did. I agree with you. When I saw him, he looked just like Justin Incredible.
I was like, this guy looks like. I thought it was Justin Incredible. I'm like, okay. I'm like, oh, he came back, good. And then I'm like, oh, okay, somebody different. But if you think about it, the match I think came short. It was cut short, right? Because I think he did get injured when he was on the top.
He did. He fucked up.
When he did the tope suicida.
He did the tope, I think, okay, but when he came back in, he fucked up something.
Mm-hmm.
Something happened where he fucked up, injured himself, so he went right into the Fujimura armbar and tapped out.
Yes, so like I think that they have to cut the match short on that. So, I mean, it creates a lot of momentum for MJF, which is good because you want to build this guy. Let's say when Jericho loses the title to a face, then MJF will be right there, can be easily in talks for a contendership for like the AEW championship.
Yeah.
I really feel that. Because like you said, the guy, maybe in ring skill, yes, he needs a little bit of work, but he's really young.
Yeah.
But when it comes to promo, mic skills, how to deliver like a message, I think he's spot on.
Yeah.
I love the fact that like he said, oh, if you think that Dungeons of the Dragon are real, then you're just a complete idiot. Or I'm going to show you what is really real.
He cut a fantastic promo. And that's what I love, though. I mean, his promo, I think, might have been the only thing I heard the entire night when it comes to promos.
Oh, yeah.
Because Jericho, I remember, tried to say something, but he ended up not saying anything.
Yeah.
He said like one word, and then he dropped the mic and then left after the attack. And then,
he attacks Cody. Yes, he attacked Cody right out when he was about to, when Tony Schiavone was about to interview Cody. He delivered like 3 code breakers. He hit him with the AEW championship. And then that's when they went to commercial break. But actually, they had like the two.
You could see what was going on.
See what was going on. So that you gotta admit, that's WWE copy, right there. That's WWE copy. But like you said, WWE and AEW are gonna be copying each other, imitating each other a lot. There's like a lot of podcasts in the wrestling community do. We imitate a lot, but we copy some things. They copy some things from us. I think I've seen a little things in other podcasts that we do. So at least I feel flattered by that. So what we're doing is good. So yeah, Ryan. Then I think we have Hangman Page against Pac or Neville, or when some people talk. What do you think about this match?
To me, I'm very happy that Pac won. Page, to me, since he lost in the championship match, and Pac beat Omega, you got to keep him with the momentum. And I'm glad that he won the match. I'm not big on the submission move. They call it the brutalizer, even though it's the rings of Saturn.
To me, it's Perry Saturn.
The rings
For
of
the
Saturn.
ones that don't know, Perry Saturn used to be a member of the Radicals with Benoit, Guerrero, and Dean Malenko.
Back further than that, he was in ECW.
Yes, he was a tag team champion.
Yes.
So when ECW, but yeah, I agree with you. Tell us, did you like the match? Did you enjoy it?
I thought it was very good. I thought it was very good. Some people, to me, again, I've read all over sites. These guys, to me, are shills when it comes to WWE and NXT. So they're going to rank it lower. I thought it was a good match. I thought the two did well. And when he hit that Black Arrow, while Page was trying to come up and he hit it, that looked devastating. But then he hooked right into the brutalizer, which bothered me. Like, why don't you go for the pin and make the Black Arrow look badass instead of going for the submission?
Yeah.
But they're trying to pump up the submission hold, I guess, and make that look devastating.
Yep. When it comes to that, I think I agree with you. The match to me was like, pretty decent. I wouldn't say, oh my gosh, I was blown away by the match.
No, I'm not going to say
they deliver what they were supposed to deliver when it comes to me.
Yeah.
A few high moves outside of the ring, back and forth. Page wasn't able to deliver the black eye, I think is his finisher.
Dead eye.
The dead eye. I think he wasn't able to do that. But I remember he hit a lariat. He was really good. I really enjoyed that move when he hit a lariat on Pac, and then he made him like flip, hold 360 and everything. I think I agree with you that the fact that like he doesn't use the black arrow for as the finisher. And also because I don't know, he put the submission, right? And he didn't tap. The referee makes the call, and that to me is like, I'm like, why don't they just remember like?
I like when they used to drop the hand.
The hand
right?
3
The
times.
hand drops 3 times, then it's done.
And that's what I think that they should go back to that.
Right?
They need to go back to that because to me, the referee making the decision for the wrestler, I don't really like that.
No.
Because even he didn't pull the submission for long either.
Yeah.
He was like very, I want to say like 10, 15 seconds, and that was it. I understand that you don't want to make the guy tap, but still kind of looks a little bad.
So the only thing I'll say maybe in the favor of that is because he had already hit him with the black arrow, so he was already done.
He was already out, yes.
So
yes.
Maybe that's why it was only in for a couple seconds.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. But to me, Pac is getting really hot, so we will see. Maybe he will be in contendership after Full Gear. Who knows? I don't know what the plans will be for them.
I don't know, because you have Jericho going up against Cody, and to me, Cody's very hot right now.
So, but he's going as the face. Yeah, he's the face.
Big time.
Yeah, so he might drop it. Jericho might drop it, and then Cody might be the champion, and then maybe Pac will be next. Because Pac is, of course, is a heel. So we'll see. We'll see what happens when it comes to that. After that, what other matches we had, Ryan?
Here, let me go on. I have the.
We can talk about like while he looks for that. I said like the promo packages that they had were really good. They were very interesting, shot very well. They kind of introduced why they were fighting. The reasons that they, for example, when they did that with Cody and Guevara, that was really nice. When they did that with Paige and Pac, because they said this match was supposed to take place at Double or Nothing. That was supposed to be the match that was going to crown the first AEW champion, but unfortunately, Pac, for some visa problems, he wasn't able to make the match.
Yeah.
After that, what do we have, Ryan?
Well, I want to discuss this. They kept mentioning the tag team tournament
and
people who were favored, and then they brought out SCU.
SCU, yes.
But then the Lucha Bros came out. Lucha Bros and SCU got big pops.
Yes.
And this is going to be, to me, their bread and butter. That's going to be the biggest thing they have is their tag team division. I mean, I know they have Cody, they have Kenny Omega, they have big names, but their tag team division, and proved tonight when they had a tag team match in the main event, their tag team division is going to be the best thing that they have.
I think that like they, they're so much better. They're like, I think 3 or 4 notches, up from WWE when it comes to tag team, because WWE hasn't focused on the tag team for years.
Yeah, I would go higher than that, even 3 or 4. I would go higher than that because you're right. To me, unfortunately, WWE doesn't even care about the tag team division. And I'm talking about Raw and SmackDown. At least NXT, they care about them. But when I've watched the matches, they're decent. But when I watch the matches here, every fucking pay-per-view, they're fantastic.
And like the tag matches are actually the matches that main event the pay-per-views, or at least the before the main event, that's the match right there. Yep. So they put in for example, most of the time they don't even, because they don't have championships yet, but they don't even fight for championships. But they still are the matches that steal the show.
Oh. And every single tag team is over. And that's just because of how fantastic they are in the ring. I mean, people love the Best Friends. They love, the Lucha Bros. They love the Young Bucks.
Public Enemy.
Yeah.
SCU.
The
Young Bucks.
So.
They have now Santana and Ortiz. So that tag team division, like you said, is probably the best tag team division ever in wrestling history. There's so many tag teams.
Yeah, I wouldn't deny that, because
and Ryan, the beauty of it, or at least you will say like the most distinctive aspect of this, is that all those tag teams have always been tag teams.
That's true.
They're specialists in tag team. They're not Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler put together for the sake of being being in a tag team.
The only one that wasn't was SCU. But they've been together now for so long.
Because you know, Kazarian and Christopher Daniels they go back to the TNA days.
Yeah.
They were TNA champions even, and see, they even acknowledged that. Because they said, we've been 4-time tag team champions. So the fact that they acknowledge other companies, that's also really nice. Because see, WWE, and this is only criticism, is we're not trying to trash WWE because we are fans of the WWE. But we're just saying, like, we like that other companies, and in this case, AEW does different things or like acknowledges different aspects of the shows that we would like to see that more often.
Yeah.
And like, for example, like, see, they acknowledge TNA because what AEW is doing is like they not considering the audience stupid because they know we know. So that's something that to me is really nice, and it shows respect to for the audience. So like you said, this is going to be the bread and butter. This whole tournament is going to be just beautiful. They have great tag teams, and to me, I don't even know who to pick for the inaugural champions.
It's going to be tough.
I don't think they're going to be the Lucha Bros or the Young Bucks.
To me, I wouldn't do that either, simply because, first of all, the Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros are establishing members of AEW, and Lucha Bros were one of the first to sign.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I'd go with an underdog team. The Dark Army is one, or Dark Order? Dark Army?
Dark Order.
I know they're one of the favorites. I would go with somebody like Jungle Boy or Luchasaurus, who's very popular with the.
Those two will be like a great fit there because those two love being loved by the crowd, and they could be established as a great addition for the AEW roster.
Yeah,
I really love that, and that way, what are you doing if you do that? You're building stars.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. That could be them. It could be Public Enemy. It could be the Best Friends. A tag team that, like, for example, like, we don't even know much about. Because if they do the Young Bucks, the Lucha Bros, even SEU, those are teams that we've seen before, or are expectable to win. But if another team comes and wins, that will be shocking, and it's a great moment for them. So, that's that portion of the show that we would like to talk about tag team. And now you want to talk about Nyla Rose and Rio.
So, yeah, I saw a lot of people trashing this match. I'm not going to be as critical as those people, especially the one podcaster I watch. I won't mention his name because I'm not going to give him a plug. But
we will not plug anybody here. Yeah. Only us. We plug ourselves.
Yeah. So, but I thought this was a very good match for what it was, and it was a 200-pound woman facing a 98-pound woman. I don't know what you expect from somebody who's under 100 pounds facing somebody who's 200 pounds, or over 200 pounds. That's something incredible in itself. Because Riho really did do extremely well for how small she is.
Mm-hmm.
And Nyla Rose, the thing that upset me was Nyla Rose looked really bullshit. Okay, she did a lot of shit to Riho, and they made Riho look like a fucking goddess when it came to kicking out of everything, stuff like that. Where, I don't know if this is the politics in the back, which it might be. I know that Kenny Omega really likes Riho.
Yeah, maybe it was something that Eki mentioned is like that. Pretty much Kenny Omega is a huge fan of Riho.
Yeah.
So that's why there might be some little things in there that we don't know.
So I had already read that Kenny Omega loves Riho, and I'm pretty sure that's why she won the belt. But to me that's a little bullshit then, because you've made Nyla Rose look like trash then, because she did fucking everything. The one spot off the top rope where Riho was hanging off the rope and she did the fucking knee off the rope, then that looked devastating, and she should have, that should have broke her in fucking half.
Yeah.
And she kicked out of it.
And there was even like she did like she did a senton, I think, or she did and nothing. She kept kicking out. And I don't. When it comes to me, I will say it was a decent match. I wouldn't call it as sloppy as like other people would. The one thing, and I want your thoughts about it, is Rio when she hits, there's no power in it.
How can there be? She's 98 pounds.
But that's my thing. At least they should tell her, hey, because for example, like Kerry's saying, when Kyrie does it, you hear the impact. When Rio does it, you don't even hear the slap. And to me, that her offense is just like it doesn't feel real.
But that's why I would not have picked these two to go head to head. I would have done a Britt Baker.
Mm-hmm.
I would have done a Kylie Ray. I would have done, somebody else who is more popular and more well known in the indies.
If, for example, if you want to go that way, I would have done Tennille Dashwood.
You could. The only issue I have with her is she is not good in the ring. She's decent, but when it comes to wrestling skill, a Britt Baker or a Kylie Ray are better.
No, but
I know that AEW is definitely pushing the wrestling initiative.
And then if that's the case, then I agree with you. I would have gone with one of those two because, like you said, there were spots that, like for example, to me, the one spot that I was just blown away is when Riho tried to do the crossbody from the third rope, and Nyla caught it. And I was like, she was about to miss because you see that she was about to hit the concrete, the concrete, and she at the end when she's about to hit, the floor. That's when she caught her.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, this woman is so powerful. She could be easily, but I think she moves way better than Nia Jax in the.
Oh, I agree. She moves a lot better.
And if I use Nia Jax, it's just because it's a big woman.
Yeah.
But to me, like you said, does the thing. She did a devastating moves back to back, and Riho kept picking up.
That's where
Riho wins with like the Shining Wizard.
It was, yeah. Like to me, that's what bothered me. And like you said, there's no impact behind it. Where at least if Kairi Sane, like, okay, she does that devastating elbow, right? It looks legit. When she hits it,
when she hits a move, when she hits the chops and stuff, you hear impact. Yeah. You hear like. So when Riho hits, I don't hear anything. No. So to me, it's like it's like this school fight that like the bigger woman is kicking the crap out of you, and then the other one just wins, not doing anything.
Yeah, that's where I said, to me, with WWE, the women's division is so much better, and will continue to be if they, if AEW doesn't explore other options. It's going to continue to be that way.
Yeah,
I understand the Japanese wrestling and stuff, but you need to explore other options. You need to find other people, and you need to find big names.
Yeah, I would say going in the indies, get a little bit of bigger names. For example, to me, there's so many that you could use another sign on Impact, but you could actually have this, things that they can be in both shows. That you have Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace is great.
Yeah.
Tessa Blanchard.
Blanchard, to me, is one of the big ones that you need to go after.
Say it's Tessa Blanchard,
She is, to me, the biggest one right now that you need to go after.
Because if you do that, your division, you're like, I will say you have even, if you get Tessa Blanchard, your roster is even better than WWE.
To me, it is legitimized.
It's, like you said, legitimized, and it's completely better, name by name. If you go through the three rosters, SmackDown, Raw, NXT, you go against your only roster, AEW, your roster is better. Name by name, because you have the best woman in wrestling right now, Tessa Blanchard.
Yeah, I would agree.
If you get Jordan Grace, if you get Johnny Mundo's wife, say about Clary.
What about Tegan Knox?
Tegan Knox, you get all of them. Then you're good. But like you said, hopefully AEW tries to explore those ideas. Like I said, to me, the only thing that I could say about Riho, I'm not saying she's not a good wrestler. She is. But out of the 4 Japanese women that we've seen, that she's the one that does not have power when she strikes.
Yeah.
Because you see Asuka, you see Io Shirai, you see Kairi Sane. Those three women, when they strike, you can hear the impact.
Even the one she faced to get this opportunity, I thought was better than her.
Nagasaki.
I forget what her name is.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So she needs to just more impact. But like you said, maybe there's a little bit of Kenny Omega politics in that, because even he came out at the end of the match when she was attacked.
There was definitely, I don't know what's going on. Could be
Well,
bad.
in any company, you're going to have this kind of things.
Oh, always.
And for example, if Kenny is not having like a main event role right now, if you can think about it.
Yeah.
Now that we're moving forward to the main event, Jericho, Santana Ortiz, LAX against the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, the Elite. You don't see him having like a main role like he used to, like, or having this big name like he had on New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, maybe that's when a little bit of like the compromises come. Hey, I don't need to be this big guy right now. Or if you just at least push Riho. You know what I mean? Things ideas like that.
I think the big thing right now with him is if Kenny would be pushed, Young Bucks, stuff like that, are shoved right down your throat because they're running the company, people would immediately flock.
Yes.
They would not want to watch because that's politics.
That's politics. That's just politics.
It's just bullshit like that. So he's staying out of the picture, which is a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to create a Roman Reigns or / Seth Rollins type aura about yourself where you're the number one guy and this
or
is
Triple H in 19. You know, you don't want to be the guy that like calls the shot. Shawn Michaels. You don't want to be the Click. Yeah. You actually want to be different than the Click. And there you go. Oh yeah, I agree with you. What are your thoughts about this main event match?
To me, I really enjoyed it. There was some very good and shocking aspects to it, like when Ambrose came out in the middle of it. Now, to me, the one thing I did not enjoy during the match, like, okay, Ambrose interrupted the match, right? I did not ever hear a bell. Okay? Right when Ambrose interrupted, the bell should have rang. Okay? That's a disqualification. Did you watch?
Yes.
Did you hear a bell?
No.
Okay, that should have been an immediate disqualification because Jericho ended up winning the match. Mm-hmm. That should have been a disqualification.
Mm-hmm. So they need to pay more attention to those things. They need to be a little bit more careful when they do those things.
Because immediately, I enjoyed what happened afterwards. They battled to the back. Kenny was sarcastic with mopping the floor, mm-hmm. But then the double arm DDT through the damn glass table. That was badass.
That was beautiful. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed Dirty Deeds or the double arm DDT, however they call it now, done onto the glass. Great spot. But like you said, it was kind of like they should have stopped the match, but they kept going.
That was nice. And then you had all the other people coming out during it. When they were starting to beat the piss out of everybody, you had
the Jericho, Santana, and Ortiz. They win the match. They beat up the Young Bucks, and then Cody Rhodes comes out to make the save, but then he gets beat up.
Yeah.
Then Sammy Guevara comes back.
Guevara came back. He kicked to the balls. Goldust came out to help, and he got the shit kicked out of him because that's when Jack Hager, or for WWE fans, Jack Swagger, comes back. He makes his debut on AEW. Now, I want your opinion on this because when I saw him, he looks fucking jacked.
Yeah.
He looks so much bigger, and he looks legit.
But he went to Bellator. He's an MMA fighter, and he's doing well. Yeah, he's doing really well. And see, like, that's a guy that, unfortunately, in WWE, he had a lot of issues with drugs, alcohol, things like that. Because remember how popular he was WrestleMania 19 when he was with Seth Cobbler, and they had the We the People gimmick.
You said 19.
29. My bad. 29. I'm sorry. 29. WrestleMania 29. Seth Cobbler, We the People, the gimmick, they just debuted. He wins the match at the Elimination Chamber in No Way Out.
Yeah.
He becomes the #1 contender. He was so popular back then, so you can tell that the guy was misused.
Well, you could hear it because when he debuted,
We the people.
All you heard was "We the people."
We the people.
And I mean, people were going apeshit, and you saw in one night that guy went from being a WWE schmuck to being a star in this corporation.
In a matter of seconds.
Yes.
He didn't even, have his wrestling gear. He just showed up in regular clothes.
Nope. He did a Vader bomb.
Yeah, and he did the God Wrench.
He did the God Wrench power bomb.
I love that. I love that.
I prefer that as opposed to him doing his bullshit ankle lock.
Yes.
He never did a good ankle lock.
Yes, and to me it was just because it's patriotic, it's like, oh yeah, I'm with the people, so I gotta do something American, the ankle lock.
The Patriot lock.
Yeah, the Patriot lock. Yeah. So to me, I don't really appreciate that, but the guy became legit.
Yeah.
So and this is nice because he's a guy from Bellator. I mean, he's legitimized himself already, and he was already signed before All Out. But they kept it quiet, and I really like that Tony Khan said that, oh, it seems like Jack he's able to keep a secret. And so are we. So I really appreciate that, and we'll see where they go from this. See, that's the beauty of this first episode is like we don't even know what is this going to happen. Right? They forming a staple there because, you have all Jericho and all these guys that went against Cody, the Bugs, and everything. But see, you don't see Jon Moxley, Dean Ambrose being allied with them. You didn't see that. He just went after Omega. That was it.
I hope they continue it that way because that's what he said. His character is unstable and stuff, but that's the way he liked to play it. I remember that in his interview, like, yeah, my character's unstable and stuff, but then Vince always wanted him to do this bullshit stuff. So I hope they continue to let him be the unfringed character. Let him have the freedom to shitty one. Like in WWE, they weren't letting him do that. They kind of kept him pigeon-toed or pigeonholed, whatever the phrase is. But they weren't letting him do what he wanted to do. They never pushed him. Where here, I think I see more of that, and he's, kind of this crazy guy who does whatever the hell he wants.
It is true. It is true. I want to say that, like, if they keep him, like you said, just as a singles person, like he doesn't align to anybody, he just does whatever he wants. He just shows up whenever he wants, and he goes after whoever he wants. Then he's good because he doesn't need to be with another Shield. He doesn't need to be being part of somebody else or something else. He just needs to be Jon Moxley, like he does. That's like a Stone Cold Steve Austin character, like. He's like, I show up and I do whatever I want, whenever I want. So, Ryan, in the end, what in a scale of 1 to 5, how do you grade this first episode?
For me, I would give it a 5 simply because of how exciting it was. I like a wrestling show that's actually a wrestling show, and it was that. And it was filled with surprises, and I enjoyed that.
Oh yeah. To me, yep, I agree with you. I think it was a very nice, very good show, and it's the first time in such a long time that I don't have to be on my phone and just have the show on just as a background. Actually, I pay attention to the whole show from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, that was me. So I agree with you. I was very happy with it. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to tune in next week, which, obviously main roster stuff I never do. But with NXT, I'll say this. They did have surprises. I'm not going to say, like, because the matches themselves were very good, but like I already explained before, they should not have been taking place on just a regular NXT episode. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'm saying the championship matches themselves, I'm not upset about like the tag match per se, but like the title match itself and then the women's title match, if you're going to give that away on a free NXT, that bothers me.
It does bother me also, mainly because of this, right? Why don't they use those kind of like things on the main roster also? Because if you do it on NXT, to me, that's a waste. You're wasting opportunities for takeovers. You're wasting opportunities for like really, really main like pay-per-view, opportunity. And they, for example, like they should do that on Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing this week just because it's premiere week, but I agree with you. I agree to the fact that like you have to put all this great card just because you want to compete.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, let them be for a few weeks. You don't need to go toe to toe from the very first week.
And,
Giving away the best you have already. Save it for but
and
like put it like in different episodes. Don't do everything in one show.
we'll see, and that's for me where they made their mistake, because they were never going to win the week when it comes to rating war, because AEW's debuting. You're not going to win when they're debuting their first episode.
Exactly. It's like you had to acknowledge that you were going to lose that night.
Yeah.
You just had to like face the reality, be like, we're going to lose. It's fine. Don't put this outstanding show knowing that you're going to lose.
Yeah.
Save it for maybe the first month and within 2 months, something like that.
So,
like you said, thoughts about Matt Riddle. I don't think he's that great either.
yeah.
I think that as a person, I don't think he's like a great character, or as an individual, I think that he uses a lot of things on social media. I think he rubs people the wrong way. I think in the locker room, he's not even like respected or liked. So I mean, the match itself was really good, but to me, I don't really see him being the NXT champion. Adam Cole is the hottest thing they have in WWE, and he's been the hottest thing for the longest time.
Yeah.
So to me, break up the Undisputed Era now that they have all the championships. I didn't see that coming. So I'm glad that he did. Two things that I don't know where they're going to go from after this episode. See, Finn Balor comes back. He's a member of NXT now. That's good. That's very nice. But at the end of the show, also, Tommaso Ciampa comes back. And he wants Goldie back.
This is my thing. Okay. I was happy with both big surprises. Okay. My issue with Balor is I have no fucking interest in him whatsoever anymore because of what the main roster did to him. The fact that you have Triple H who cares about Balor, and you need Triple H to bring him back to NXT to actually make him somewhat noticeable again.
Somebody again.
Okay, that is a big issue to me. That shows that Vince McMahon doesn't give a shit about him, and you need to bring him to NXT again to make him a actual desirable character. That is, to me, a slap in the face by Vince McMahon. Okay, that bothers me, and he lost so many times on the main roster.
Tell me your thoughts about Finn Balor being back on NXT.
I'm a little upset with it, and it's not because of Balor. I like Balor. I love Balor. I'm upset because they didn't treat him right on the main roster. The guy was on there for how many years now, and they never utilized him. The fact that you have to bring him back, to NXT to make him a proper character, pisses me off. And I don't know that. I mean, he'll be cherished always in NXT. He's the longest reigning NXT champion. So the fans welcome him back, obviously. But the fact that Triple H has to take a guy of that character, such a great wrestler, he's the one that has to protect him and bring him back to NXT to make him look worthy, upsets me. And, he hasn't been, what, a great character or looked great in years.
I mean, like forever, right?
So, to me, I don't see him going for the title. And that's my opinion. I don't think he deserves a title match. I think he has to work his way back. Where Ciampa, to me, I want to see Ciampa and Cole.
That's has to me that's takeover. That's war games to me. That's speaking war games right there.
I want to see that. I want to see, Ciampa and Cole I think Ciampa is going to be red hot again. You know, um, and to me, if you wanted to have somebody beat Cole, it would be Ciampa.
Yeah, I think so. And for example, if you wanna go all the way, like for example, to me, I can even already see War Games, the Undisputed Era against Champa, uh, Gargano, Velveteen Dream, and maybe like Matt Riddle. Put another guy there. There's
Yeah,
the War Games right there for you.
you can do it because right now you could have Gargano and Ciampa get the tag titles back. Because I teased it. Because the Street Profits lost again.
Yes.
So you can have, you know, what is it, DIY?
Yes, DIY.
You can have them come back now, be a team again. You can have them go win the tag titles. You can have Ciampa win the belt back. Ciampa coming back was to me the big one that I loved. Having him come out and just have him have the stare down, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Where Finn Balor to me, not as much, just because I love Balor, and to me, I love that he's going to be in NXT and then he's going to get a chance again. But to me, that pisses me off that Vince McMahon doesn't see him as anything.
It is true. I mean, Ryan, like, I think that Vince doesn't see a lot of guys. We have Cesaro, we have so many examples. So at least Triple H is able to be like, okay, give me the guys that I made, so I can remake them again.
This is where, and we've discussed this many times, this is where Vince McMahon needs to step aside and let Triple H run the business. I'm sorry, but Vince McMahon is no longer creatively with it. The guy needs to step aside or die.
Well, there you go. That's a big statement, but there you go. You went at it. You said it.
I'm sorry, but the guy, I have no respect for this man anymore. And for the fucking idiots who go like this to him when he comes out, no. I would be giving the guy the middle finger because the man has literally driven Raw and SmackDown into the grave because the man does not know how to run a company.
It is true. It is true in a lot of ways. So I really think that. To me, NXT put on a great show, but like the fact that like everybody was just into AEW more because you said it the best. Debut episode, we want to see what they're bringing. So it's not that they fell completely due to the lack of quality that they have. The quality has always going to be there. It's always been there ever since the NXT was created. But of course, we all wanted to see something different.
Yeah.
And it's like we're gonna keep continue watching both shows. To me, Champa coming out sets up a really great feud with Adam Cole. And like I said, even they can go as far as do the Undisputed Era. The whole Undisputed Era, for example, going against DIY and the Street Profits. There
Yeah.
you go. There's your like war games right there. Or the Velveteen Dream being involved in the conversation because he's challenging Roderick Strong for the rematch for the North American Championship.
That's what I see. I see Velveteen Dream coming in, and I think they're gonna have another challenger come in.
Maybe for example, who let's say let's be done, or let's say like I said, Matt Riddle. Somebody else, somebody of that kind of main event caliber. We'll see. Maybe this guy Djokovic. These guys that like are like the NXT keeps building up. So
Yeah.
it's setting up for like what is going to be, and again, a great time to be a wrestling fan because we have a hell ton of options right now.
Absolutely.
So I think that like this concludes the review for today. We're gonna have more content coming up, so just wait for us a few hours. We're gonna be doing a preview for SmackDown. We're gonna be doing a live reaction after SmackDown takes place. We're gonna be playing some WWE 2K19. Ryan already posted the trailer for the 2K20 that is coming up soon. What are your thoughts about it? Do the graphics look good to you? It seems like it's gonna be a good game, but it's always like that on paper. Because when we played, it ended up
And then
being
it's
just
bullshit.
bullshit. It's always bullshit. But we're still gonna play it. So guys, we're gonna put in the page. We're gonna actually put like the again Ryan's address so you guys can see the feed for like our gameplay. You're gonna be live because the whole panel is gonna be together. We have a lot of robbery coming your way, guys. So we're gonna have that. We're gonna have our Instagram page is in the makes. We have a Twitter account. We have a Facebook that you always follow. So we want to thank all of you for the time. We hope you enjoy SmackDown. It's going to be a good show, I think. There's a lot of big names. Kofi Kingston probably is going to be destroyed. So we're going to have
Let's
a new
hope. I
WWE champion.
I
Because like
hope.
Ryan said on the page, if this thing that Brock Lesnar did to Mysterio and his son Dominic doesn't come to fruition when it comes to championship winning, I don't know how you can become a champion. We'll have a few reactions about Raw and SmackDown. We're just waiting for SmackDown to be over. So we're going to talk about both shows. The whole panel will be together. So I want to thank you, Ryan. I want to hope that everybody does well. Keep watching Raw Break, and we'll see with you each other soon.
Ah.
Ah.